Hey guys, welcome back to this commentary playthrough of Final Fantasy VII. I am Retro Cactar, and we have finally got out of Midgar. You can see it over there. We're at the town of Calm, and we are ready to pursue Sephiroth. Somebody saw him heading east through the grassy plains, so we're going to follow and see what happens. I do love the world map theme here. Kind of mysterious and uplifting at the same time. And we have some wolf enemies to deal with. Wham! There's a sledge bang there. I think these things are weak against fire. Seems like it. Alright, so let's head towards this area here. Talk to the Chocobo here. Quark. I think I'll just choose the first option. I'm not sure. Receive Chocobo Materia. There we go. So, we are going to take a look at this. So, you'll see this materia is red. So this is the final type of materia. There's a total of 5, and this is the last one. Summons Chocobo. This is, as you may have guessed, summon materia. So when you equip it, you will be able to summon a monster to come and attack the enemy party. Obviously, Aerith is probably the best one due to her high magic stat to use this. I'm just going to do some rearranging here. So, fire, poison, heal. I kind of like the fact that she has fire because there's enemies that are weak against fire here. We'll just swap that around. Trying to think how to do this. Because they each have 2. He has fire and she has fire, so she doesn't need fire. Except that fire is useful for her as an attack option. Decisions. Well, let's see here. I will put lightning here, or lightning all, and Chocobo as the summon. So now when she goes into her battle menu, summon is an option. You can see she has Chocobo there in her list. Alright. So this is a Chocobo Farm? Yeah. So let's go in and talk to the people here. Thinking of crossing the marshes? Yeah. Then it'll probably be safer for you to get a Chocobo. That way you can zip through the marshes with the Chocobo. It's the only way to avoid being attacked by the Zolom. Zolom? It's a serpent-like creature over 30 feet tall. It detects the footsteps of anyone in the marshes, and then BAM! It attacks. To avoid that, buy a Chocobo at me and Choco Billy's Chocobo Farm. To purchase a Chocobo, please talk to my grandson. He's in the Chocobo stables at the far right end of the farm. Yeah, so how much money do I have? Because yeah, okay. You need a bit of money here to do what we're coming to do. Do you want Chocobo? Old folks are out of luck. Old folks? We're all out of chocobos. We're taking care of the ones out there for someone else. You know, if you really want a chocobo, you should go out and catch one. Want to know how to catch a chocobo? So, yeah, I know how to do it, but I'll go through this. You see those claw prints out there? Wild chocobos will appear in those areas. But if you don't have chocobo lure, they won't come out. They're very cautious by nature. Chocobo lure. It's a type of materia that attracts chocobos. If you equip this, they'll come to you, but without it, they won't appear. So how do I catch one? A wild chocobo always appears with other monsters, but you won't be able to catch it because of the monsters. That's why you must defeat the monsters first before you catch the chocobo. Wild chocobos are really cautious. They'll run away from the smallest things. But if you use greens, they'll focus on them and won't run away. Whatever you do, don't make chocobos angry. They're usually calm, but if you get them angry, you'll get hurt. Oh, and remember, once you get off a chocobo, it'll escape. So, that's pretty much everything that you need to know. I'll sell you the chocobo lure for 2,000 gil right now. Unfortunately, you do have to buy it. There's no way to proceed in the game. I guess you could go through the marshes and fight them at your Zolom, but the Zolom is actually pretty powerful at this point in the game. Alright, so I buy some greens either. Yeah, I'll just buy a few greens for now. Whoa, not 11, just a couple. Okay. And you. Wasn't it really expensive? But don't be mad at my brother or grandpa. Ever since mom and dad died, it's been like this. Yeah, so basically with the chocobo lure, we can go out and start catching chocobos with the greens. Before we proceed though, there's something else I want to mention. You can learn 2 new enemy skills in this area. One is just a random encounter from an enemy, and the other one is actually an encounter you can learn from a chocobo. Okay, I'm gonna run away from these guys because it's back attack. But yeah, there is one enemy that I want to encounter here in the grasslands, so I'm probably just going to wander around here for a while, fight some enemies, and when I do find those enemies, not these guys, then we'll come back and I will talk more about it. Okay, so here we go. Finally, we found these guys. These are the new enemies, and these are the guys that you want to encounter. They have an enemy skill you can learn. Wow, that did a lot of damage. Braver to take out that thing because we don't need it. Yeah, those attacks do a lot of damage, seriously. Kill it. So anyway, yeah, I want to learn an enemy skill from these guys. I might cut out the battle here. Oh, here we go. Level 4 suicide. So it missed us all, which is good. But Cloud did learn it. There's no point. I don't think it works on them, actually. I'll talk about it in a minute. I don't think it works on them. Oh, it does. Alright, let's use Chocomog here. So we can see that for the first time. Now they're going to try it again. Doesn't work. So here's the Chocomog materia in action. Yeah, so we got a couple things to talk about. So, first of all, let's look at our new enemy skill. So it causes critical small with levels and multiples of 4. So basically, it's a percentage-based attack. If you use level 4 suicide on an enemy, that has a level that is a multiple of 4, it will deal, I think it's 90% of its max HP as damage, and or current HP, I'm not exactly sure. And it also causes mini. Now, there are some enemies, like the Moo enemies, I used level 4 suicide on them, and they were immune to mini, but they were not immune to the percentage-based damage, so that's why it was doing like 290 or something like that. Anyway, so that is the one enemy skill that I want to learn. Unfortunately, even when you encounter the moves, there's no way to force them to use it. You just have to kind of wait and hope that they use it. Thankfully, it did not take very long. I've had some playthroughs where I did this, and they just kept me waiting so long. But thankfully, we didn't have to. Now, there's one more enemy skill we can learn. First things first, I'm just going to go in here and heal up a bit. Come in here. He will let you stay there for 100 gil. Alright. So to learn our next enemy skill, there's a very specific sort of formula or process that you have to take. So first of all, I'm just going to throw in a save here before we do anything else. And I'm just going to pause the recording here while I double check and make sure that I've got everything down correctly. Okay, so let me go back in here. Come on. So in order to learn our next enemy skill, we are going to need to buy a specific green, which I believe, yeah, the most expensive one. Thank you for that. Anywho, that's why we'll save before we attempt this. That's why I also bought some of like the cheaper greens. And I'll throw in another save here. And we cannot forget, to encounter a Chocobo, we must equip the Chocobo Materia. And then you see these claw marks, the prints here. You have to basically wander back and forth on them to encounter a Chocobo with the Chocobo Materia. And just to streamline the process a bit, I'm going to move these to the top of my item list. And wait to get into a Chocobo battle. You'll know right away because the music changes. Come on. Here we go. Yeah, get that electric guitar going. Chocobos. So what we need to do... Now, we need to use level 4 suicide on the Chocobo. But this one is level 13, which means that there's no point in us trying to learn the enemy skill from this Chocobo. Yeah. So if you just leave it alone, you don't do anything, it runs away. That's fine. Right now I'm focusing on learning the enemy skill, although these guys are being really annoying and not letting me run. Okay, fine. You're not gonna let me run? Fine. Oops, they just said it again. That was my fault. These guys, I think, have a very high magic defense. Yeah. I got hit with physical attacks. Level 10. And I know her physical attack is weak, but still does more damage. There we go. Yeah, so basically what we're trying to do is find a Chocobo that has a level that is a multiple of 4, and then we can use a level 4 suicide on it. Now, there is another way of telling besides just using scan. I pretty much know already, or sense rather. I know this is not going to be a level. There, yeah, level 13. I pretty much knew that from the start because you can tell by the enemies that show up with the Chocobo. Thank you. Though those two flamingo emu looking things, if it shows up with two of those, it will be level 16. Or if it shows up with two of the elephant looking enemies, I believe they're called alpha dunks or something like that, then okay, here we go. So this thing is a level 16 Chocobo. So we're going to use the mimic greens on it. And then we are going to use level 4 suicide. And once we do, you'll see what happens here. Chocobuckle. Oof. Learned enemy skill Chocobuckle, and then it runs away in a huff. I can't blame it. So, let's finish this battle here. So you're probably wondering, after going to all that trouble, Chocobuckle is probably a really great enemy skill, right? Well, let's try it. 12 damage, and you're probably thinking, what the heck? Why is it such an ability? Well, Chocobuckle is a pretty simple formula. It deals damage equal to the number of times you've run away. So, I've run away in this playthrough 12 times. So obviously, it's not going to be doing a lot of damage. Now, I mean, there are some people who they like to learn Chocobuckle and then they spend a couple game hours, and I guess literal hours in the real world, just running away from battle over and over and over again. And you can actually power up Chocobuckle quite high doing that. Because you'll see here, it only costs 3 MP. So imagine, you know, running away 1,000 times, and then you basically are dealing 1,000 damage for only 3 MP. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. It's going to take way too much time, and I'm not like rushing to get through the playthrough, but I'm not going to spend a couple hours running away from battles continuously just to build up Chocobuckle. That's not it's not something, I don't think I've ever really done that seriously in any playthrough. I think the one time I did it, I got Chocobuckle up to about like 100, and after that I was just like, I'm getting too bored. I'm gonna keep on going on with the game. Anywho, yeah, now that we've learned Chocobuckle, we can catch a Chocobo, and you'll see how this works, how to do it the proper way. Yeah, so this would have been a level 16 Chocobo as well. Come on. Sound greens. And we have to make sure in this battle to not attack the Chocobo. And they like to use this ability. So you'll see that Cloud's limit break gauge is blue. That is the sadness effect, which means that his limit gauge fills up at only half the regular rate. Okay, we'll attack that. So basically, yeah, when you use the greens on the Chocobo, it just focuses on eating. You want another one? What am I using it on? Dang it. The thing moved right in the way, so I couldn't tell which one I was actually targeting. Here, have another. There we go, caught your Chocobo. I love the bow music for catching Chocobos. Alright, so how to ride a Chocobo. Press B to get off and Chocobos will escape whenever a player dismounts. Yeah, so so over here is the marshes, and you'll see that snake thing is kind of like moving around. If you try to run through the marshes normally, it will catch you. With the Chocobo, we are faster. I'm just gonna try. I want to make sure that it's not gonna catch me. It is gonna try to find me here. Whoa, that was close. But it cannot. There, that was a close one. So now we get off and the Chocobo escapes. We keep going. Ooh. Did Sephiroth do this? Our enemy is someone that could do this? It's a power that we should respect. Yeah, no kidding. Alright, anyway, we are here now. Got past the mine. I am going to do this and do this. And in we go. So we are here in the Mythril Mines. I'm going to come up here and climb up here. The long-range materia. So this materia is kind of neat. Basically what it does is it's the same attack power even from the back row. So, I mean, what I could do with this is I could equip this on Cloud, and I could put him in the back row, and his sword attacks would still be doing the same amount of damage, which is really nice. I don't think I'm going to use it right now, but it is definitely a materia that has some interesting uses, some mechanics. And I will use it a bit later. Ether. Tent. And I also do want to spend a bit of time running around here because there's another enemy skill we can learn. So there's that dragon thing in the background you'll see. Actually, I think I can use Materia Magic and it will survive the attack. Yeah, the other three die. I'll steal. Try to steal from it because it has ethers. But basically, what I really want to do is wait until it uses its enemy skill on Cloud. So Flamethrower is, as you can see, it's a useful ability. I could very easily end this right now, but I'm not going to because I want Flamethrower. I didn't mean to use the all ability there, but whatever. Come on, use it on Cloud. Use Flamethrower on Cloud. He's really just focused on Red 13 or Fire Main, as I call them. Use on Cloud. Yes. Woo! You're done. I said, you're done. So Flamethrower, as you saw, was a fire elemental attack against one enemy. Yeah, it causes fire damage to one single opponent. The nice thing about this is Flamethrower is almost like very comparable to a Fire Rust spell, the level 2, which obviously we don't have yet. Who has my fire materia? I think he does. Yeah, so we still got ways to go before we learn Fire 2, and Flamethrower does more damage than it's just a standard fire spell, so it's really nice. That was what I needed to find there. Go through here, and I get into a battle. La-di-da. Hey guys, what's up? So, one thing you can do with these guys is use level 4 suicide. Because they are They have a multiple level 4, and there you see the shrink effect. And their abilities, they've blinded Red 13. I should call him by what I call them, Fire Main. They've blinded him, unfortunately, but that does not stop him from being able to steal. And we want to steal from these things. There, stole Grand Glove. That is a new weapon for Tifa, which is why I recommended that you not buy a weapon for Tifa back in Calm, because you can steal the Grand Glove for her here. Oh, and I should mention this as well. The Chocomog, you might notice after I use it, the enemies kind of stop. It does have a paralyze effect, which is actually very useful against some boss battles. You can use Chocomog and freeze them for a short time. Find sources. Good. Hey guys, what's up? Braver. Gotcha. Oh yeah, now Cloud is blinded. The blind does wear off at the end of the battle, so I'm not too worried about it. Come to think of it, I'm not sure if there are other than Fury and Sadness, I'm not sure if there are any status effects that carry over after battle. I thought there was a chest up there, maybe not. Just a second. I hoped I'd never see you again. Do you know who I am? Yep. Well, if you know, then this won't take long. It's difficult to explain what the Turks do. Kidnapping, right? To put it negatively, you could say that. But that's not all there is to it anymore. Sir! It's all right, Rude. I know you don't like speeches, so don't force it. Then explain, Elena. I'm the newest member of the Turks, Elena. Thanks to what you did to Reno, we're short-handed. But because of that, I got promoted to the Turks. Anyhow, our job is to find out where Sephiroth is headed, and to try to stop you every step of the way. Wait a minute, it's the other way around. You're the ones that are getting in our way. Elena, you talk too much. Mr. Sang? No need to tell them about our orders. Sorry, Sang. I thought I gave your orders. Now go. Don't forget to file your report. Oh, right. Very well. Rude and I will go after Sephiroth, who's headed for Junin Harbor. Elena, you don't seem to understand. Oh, I'm sorry. Go. Don't let Sephiroth get away. Yes, sir. Reno said he wanted to see you after the injuries you gave him healed. He wants to show his affection for you all with a new weapon. Well then. Aerith, long time no see. Looks like you're safe from the Shinra for a while, now that Sephiroth reappeared. What are you saying? That I should be grateful to Sephiroth? No, I won't be seeing much of you, so take care. Strange hearing that from you. Well then, stay out of Shinra's way. Yeah, we'll be sure to do that, Sang. Yeah. Alright, let's grab this. Get to another battle. Oh, you guys again. Oh, nice, I got another ether. potion. Oh, come on. I took like 4 steps. Will you let me run away? I don't know if the game's gonna let me. Need a cure here. Let's Chocobo. Let's wipe these guys out. You're starting to annoy me. Death blow. Alright, and this, I think, should kill it. Yep. Alright, so that's everything in the mines, so we can climb up here. Alright, so I'm just going to put in a save here. This is a part of the game where I usually do some grinding, not necessarily to build up my materia or levels, but my limit breaks. I'll talk just shortly about this. I mentioned this before, but limit breaks, in order to advance to the next level, you see here both of them have their 2 level 1 limit breaks. To advance to the next level, you need characters to kill a certain number of enemies, and that character needs to be the one to actually land the finishing blow. I particularly want to get Aerith's next limit break. I won't say why, but just the fact that if you don't put any effort into actually building up the limit breaks, you can actually get to the end of the game with only having like 1 or 2. So I will be taking time out of the recording to build up the limit breaks. Basically what I recommend is you give that character, whoever you're trying to build up, you give them things like the enemy skill materia or the summon materia, something that can wipe out a large group of enemies at once. One thing I do need to double check, I'm not sure if using summons actually counts as the character killing, but I do know that using enemy skills does, or like using other things like magic. I just don't know if summons count, so I'll confirm that, but I'm going to pause the recording here and come back after I've had a bit of time building up limit breaks. At this point, I'm just going to do Cloud and Aerith. I will come back and see you guys after I do that.